Hey everybody, it's Mr. McMullen here. It's the end of the day Monday, and I just wanted to make a little video and kind of catch everybody up on some things that are kind of going on in our classroom, and just a little bit of information for, again, kind of reinforcing different ways to get a hold of me. So one thing that I'll start with is the agendas that were sent home today. So usually with the agendas, it's one of the ways that teachers and parents or caregivers would contact each other in a kind of a back and forth way. Since the new kind of rules and regulations are in place right now, that makes that difficult because the students are meant to be following those social distance guidelines, and I am as well. So I am teaching from the front of the classroom right now. So that kind of check-in when I'd go around and check for messages from parents is kind of can't really happen right now because it would kind of go against our social distancing and even passing materials back and forth, which is something that we're doing our best to stay away from. And the students in here have their own desks and their own things to work with. So in saying that, the agendas, we will be using that each day and each morning as just as an extra, as part of our literacy program. So you might see a few of our spelling words that we're working on, different things about sentence structure. Today is International Gratitude Day, so we set a goal about showing gratitude throughout the week, and we wrote that down. And we're going to use that for some extra practice with our literacy program. So I do ask you, if you do want to get in contact with me, use EDSB. EDSB is a program that I'm sure that you're all familiar with because of using it last year when we had to leave due to school closures. So sign into EDSB, type in my name on the little envelope and send me a message that way. Another way, again, this is my email here at school, scott.mcmullen@publicboard.ca, and you can reach me that way from your email. The other way is to just to call the school and say that you'd either like me to call back, or if I'm on my my prep period or lunch, I'd be able to take that phone call. Okay. Another few things that I just wanted to show you is just kind of mention some of the things that we've been working on here in class. So if you want to talk to your son or daughter about that when you're hanging out, or when you're in the car, or anything like that, any extra practice and kind of reinforcement really does help. So just first of all, for math, if you're online there, you can go to the new math curriculum, and it kind of outlines some different things, and you can go to grade-specific situations. So there is a section right here called Supporting Your Child's Learning, and it just kind of lets you know what's going on in different grades. So let's say for grade 2, you would just click on it here, and it says here some of the knowledge and skills that students are expected to learn throughout the year, just so you get an idea. And you can see here, this is kind of what we're focusing on right now, is number. It says students will work with numbers up to 200, and they will develop and apply their growing and understanding of numbers in various ways, such as solving problems in addition and subtraction, and work with continue to work with fractions through the context of sharing things equally. And I will also just quickly show you grade 1 for a few grade 1s. Students will work with numbers up to 50. Okay, so grade 2 numbers up to 200, and grade 1 numbers up to 50. So that's the focus. So that's everything about that. Reading numbers up to 50, and grade 2 is up to 200. Writing the words, spelling numbers up to from 1 through 50 by the end of grade 1, up to 200 for end of grade 2. Another thing we're looking at is representing numbers in a variety of ways. As you can see here, that if we're talking about the number 6, you can see that 6 can be represented in a variety of ways. One way is with tally marks. It's just the idea that 6 isn't just the numeral 6. It can be represented by rolling dice. It could be 2 3s. It could be 5 and 1. Down here, this is called a number line. You can see that they represented the number 8 by these little lines here, and that's one way it works for addition well, but it's just kind of showing that numbers are everywhere and they can be represented all over the place. We have numbers on our school clocks. It's just to get that idea and how to use those numbers. Just today we were working on composing and decomposing numbers, and what that looks like is taking numbers. Let's say if we were looking at the number 10, and you want to compose the number 10, there can be many ways. You could take 5 and 5 to make 10. So 10 doesn't just have to be, again, the numeral 10. You can compose the number 10 in many ways. You could do 1 plus 5 plus plus 5 plus 4 to equal 10. And there's many different ways that you can compose 10. You can do it with drawing. You can have 2 butterflies plus 3 more butterflies plus 5 more butterflies, and altogether that would make the number 10. So that's composing numbers, and we're decomposing numbers, kind of taking the number apart. So it's just the idea that there's not just one element to a number, and it's not just numerals and just the number 10. It's that we see numbers everywhere, that numbers work in a variety of ways, and it's just to get that idea kind of going. And when we talk about literacy with some things that we have going on right now, something that would be excellent at home is to look up something like this, and this is just one variety. There's so many different ways, but on this site here, readingrockets.org, you can go right to spelling lists. Like here's a grade 1 list, and here's a grade 2 list, and it looks like some of the more basic words, but the idea around it is that basic words make up such a huge chunk of our reading and writing. If you took a look at a book right now, you'd see that most of the words are just the basics. So learning these words, both written and being able to read them, is just so important. So even if finding a list like this on a site like this, or even just typing in basic grade 1 word list, again, if you are eating dinner together and you made a little game out of it, just taking a few of the words. Let's focus on all, am, and just kind of focus on those for a few days. Any of this extra work at home will really help. You can see that the grade 2 list is a bit larger, but it's here, and it's a lot of the basic words, but just taking a few a day would just really help to reinforce these things when we're reading and writing at school. Sorry, just pausing for a second. Sorry about that, just kind of lost my train of thought. But one thing I did want to mention is we're in a much different space here at school this year. I'm super happy to be back in the classroom, but a lot of things have changed. When I look around our classroom right now, I see just individual desks. And in grade 1 and 2, when I've taught them before, we've really been group-based, and I've had a table that I work in small groups with students in the back, and that's just not happening this year, all having to do with social distancing. So the small things that we'd work at, where I'd take some students that might be struggling with some of these words and take them to the back while the other students are doing group activities, it's just not happening this year. So working in partnership between school and home will really help us to move forward, and this is just one way that would really help, is to focus on some of these word basics. One other thing that we are doing in our social studies right now, between kind of mixing grade 1 and 2 together, is we're focusing on what a citizen is and what it means to be a citizen of the country, what it means to be a classroom citizen or a citizen of Windsor itself, and just different things that citizens do to kind of be a part of a group, and what kind of responsibilities that they have. For grade 1, the students in grade 1 focusing on responsibility, it kind of means like what responsibilities do they have as a person that lives in a society? What are they responsible for, and how does that change the way that we work together and work with other people? Something we looked at today was a book called We Are All Different, and just kind of celebrating the differences that people bring when you have friendships with other people. They might introduce you to new music, to new food, to new ideas and new things. And we talked about today just about how kind of sad and how boring things would be if we were all the same, if we looked exactly the same, dressed exactly the same, sounded and spoke exactly the same. How it would just take away a lot of the joy that we have in our lives. So that's something that you might want to speak with your son or daughter about as well, and just kind of having those ideas kind of together. Sorry this video kind of dragged on, but I just want to kind of fill you in at the start of the week, because it'd be excellent if any of these things kind of made it into your conversations at the dinner table, or when you're going for a walk, or if you have some time to sit down and hang out. These are some of our things that we're focusing on here at school. Again, please contact me through Edsby for any questions, or call the school, and we'll make sure that we're doing our best to keep things moving, keep things happy and healthy here at school. Okay, so enjoy your night, and Mr. M signing off.